Good evening, one and all, to a Clash of Titans. Welcome, everybody, to the Tauntaun Squadron. My name is Sith Holocron, or Simon, or you can take your pick. I really have absolutely no qualms about what I get called online, unlike lots of other people. I just don't care. In the meantime, mind you, we are in the XTC of 2021, and as you can see, the debris and gas clouds are on the table. Ships are being set as I speak. Welcome, chat, to what is going to be two, not just this, but a second game between Ireland and England, which starts in roughly 2 hours, which will be all kinds of wonderful at 9 o'clock UTC plus 1, 10 o'clock in Europe, and 4 p.m. Eastern if you live in America. So, as this is a global competition, welcome. Nick, not once. You can call me whatever you like. This is not PG. Do what you like. All fine. So, this is going to be a lot of pew-pews. Lots of pew-pews. So, let's introduce the players, shall we? I think that's probably a good idea. On the left-hand side of your screen, we have got. Let me take chat off that. We don't need that up at all. So let's go there. We'll take chat off, apply that, and go back. There we go. So, on the left-hand side of your screen, representing glorious England, who are well averse to having the odd loss every now and again, but brilliantly for England, it's Team Ireland they are playing. So, Tom Reid, one of the best X-Wing players England has ever produced. Not quite the best, as that person may be on right after this game on this station. So we will hold off on naming who that is. But Tom and his family, his brother and his dad, have been X-Wing stalwarts for, about 8 years, all the way right the way back at the beginning of this game when it first came out. And Tom is an exceptionally good player. And his list is pretty damn good. So while they're setting up, let us put in what they've got. So Torkil Mux is an I2 Hawk that makes people initiative 0. So somebody doesn't get to shoot. Really good for I6s. So let me see where we are. Are the dials all set? Timer has not gone just yet. And then we will bring up what we are going to talk about as soon as I double click everything, and we will all be good. Now, what you're seeing right there is cards coming out that allows people to see what the two ships do. Just in real life, you can also see a dial in X-Wing. You can get to do that. So the button has now gone. Welcome to Group C, where the current score after 2 games is Ireland 1, England 1. So there are 3 more games that are happening tonight. This is Conor Holmes versus Tom Reid. Mark is playing Jonathan, and later on tonight it's Chris versus Ollie Hot Sauce Potnell. So let's go through this. As you can see on the screen, Torkil Mux with Zam Vessel and the Moldy Crow title, which is pretty good. And then 5 spacers, all at I1. And they've all got auto blasters. So if you're at range 1 and you've got a bullseye, the bullseye gives you an extra shot, and range 1 gives you an extra one anyway. So there are a whole load of ships in here, and I'm just going to check that all the colours are right, and they're not because one of them is orange. So let me sort that out on the overlay. It is not pink. It's orange. So that's a bit better. Teal, orange. Okay, so there's an orange one over there as well. All these people making horrible color choices. So let's get rid of those cards. The teal one will need to be made teal, so we'll do that like that. And this one, I assume, will be the orange one. So not so bad at all. Let's make it a bit more orangey. There we go. Okay, so we are good to go. On the other side, representing Team All Ireland, because when we play games, we put all our differences aside. Isn't it great? Isn't it just great? And this is going to start. It's a Malarus swarm, so let's start with Malarus. Malarus Initiative 5. When a friendly ship at 0 to 2 of his ship performs a primary attack, if it has one or more blank results, that ship must gain to re-roll 1 if able. And then Pattern Analyzer, when you fully execute a red maneuver before you check the difficulty set, you can perform an action. And the rest, he has got 6 of these lovely little things, all at I1 as well. And Conor has been given the initiative. So let's see how this all goes on. And so a full thing, everything taking an evade. Oh, and blue goes over that. Gets a crit, which unbelievably does nothing. So all little one banks in from the spacers. And a very beautiful painted squadron this is. It's very, very nice indeed. Torkil moves up, taking a focus. Remember, the title will allow him to have 2 focuses at any one time. Should he be able to focus, he can even get a 3rd, which is very nice indeed. Let us see where we are going to be. So, everyone flying in like red arrows swarm formation. That is kind of good. And let us jump into the chat and see if there's anybody there. So welcome to the 14 or so that are here. Get in touch. I like to talk to people while there's no pew-pewing going on. So at the minute, let us bring you up to date fully. At the minute right now, on 5-1, going into this last 7th game of the XTC, Ireland and England have both got 5-1s, but they haven't played each other yet. So this is probably going to decide who tops the group and goes through. Meanwhile, in 3rd place, and the only team that can realistically put either Ireland or England out is Canada. They're playing the Philippines, but they have lost twice. So they are currently 4-2. Now, should Ireland win this best of 7, Ireland will top the group and go through as champions. Should England win this, they will go through the group as champions, leaving the other person on 5-2. So, too long, don't listen. If Ireland win this series, they qualify. If England win this series, they qualify. If Canada beat the Philippines and if Ireland lose, then Canada is through. But should the Philippines cause a little upset, and to be fair, we played them and they are good players. If Canada lose, then it's England, Ireland, and we're both through. So, regardless of who wins the England-Ireland set. So, there's this game, another game, and a second game that we're bringing you live here on the Tauntaun YouTube channel in about 10 minutes short of 2 hours. Enough time to get the overlays redone, contact the players, and all that sort of stuff. So the flags will let you know roughly where they are. The logos are at the bottom, all that sort of stuff. Welcome. This is going to be pretty much amazing for the next 3 hours. And as you can see, they have continued to pace straight up the side of the board edge. Every single one of them taking an evade, which is very good indeed. The spacers are quite aware of this. So, let us check what the spacers can actually do. Let us bring up, and I would assume all of these are going to make that maneuver. Do a bank to the left, and then barrel roll to the left, which means his block of 6 will be, oh, he doesn't. He decides to go forward with green, splitting up the forces. Blue does that as well. Now, that leaves Blue, who is not getting shot, but will still need to re-roll. Probably not get a crit this time, but unbelievably, the dice gods being very, very kind indeed. Ensure that there's absolutely no adverse effect at all, and a bank 1 there from Torkil. So, only Malarus to go, who will no doubt move up as close as possible to his FO Epsilon cadets. So, takes a focus. All good. All good indeed. And we are going to be back to dials. So 3 turns of movement, no shots as of yet, and a huge, massive total of not even 10 minutes being played. So 68 minutes to go. Strap yourselves in, guys. These games actually genuinely do matter. So, 2 great players. Tom has won many, many, many events. And so has Conor Holmes. So, the most recent one, I think Conor went top 4 in the GSP Galaxy event. Really, really strong performance. Tom is always at the top tables. No matter if it's in real life or online, the guy can seriously fly ships. So you want to learn how to play X-Wing 2.0. Keep your feet up for the next sort of 66 minutes because it's going to be a really, really good game. So, decisions to be made by both pilots. Both pilots know their lists backwards. I know that Conor and has been practicing a lot into these Auto Blaster cartel spacers. 2 pings just pretty much lets your opponent know that they are ready to rock, and a whole bunch of 1 hearts to the left. This time they are taking the focus, so that will help in offense and defense. So let us see where we end up. 2 bank there from the orange spacer, who will also take a focus. The red will do a 3 to maintain flight formation, which is excellent. A 3 bank here from green. We'll put him just underneath that debris cloud. Focuses up. There'll probably be a 2 from the blue, which there is, to come in behind him. And then a 3 from the yellow. And all of those guys are taking focuses. Next person to go will be Torkil, who does a 2 forward. And will take his 3rd focus. Very difficult to kill Torkil Mux. And there is a lovely maneuver from Conor. And we are ready to pew. So let us get the green dice out. Let us get the red dice out. So Cartel's 3 agility swarm. Very, very good indeed. But before engagement, anything within range 3 will be firing last. There is a fuse token, which will be the one that does shoot last. So he's got orange, teal, and red. And the pink one will shoot first. So Malarus at I5 gets to fire first. 2-gun attack. Natty's the first roll. Let's see what Tom gets. And takes half points on green in the first shot. Well, wow. That's... Wow. Okay, so shield and hull goes. And that is 14 points straight away. Let's see what is going to happen with this one. 3 from Torkil. All the evades. Absolutely no issue there. And then, as we can see, we are going in initiative order. So, pink will shoot completely last. He is essentially I0. This is range 2. Blank gets the eye, spends the focus, 2 hits. But at range 3, 4 dice back, and he only gets 1. So shield another hull into green, trying desperately to take off the green spacer. So down to just 1 hull left. So range 3 again, obviously because they're all on the same thing. Only going to get 1 reroll this time. Rolls the blank into a blank, but does get to keep that focus for the return shot that is coming back in. Another double blank from Conor. This time 3. And surely this time 1 evade, but is going to have to spend the focus. So that's focus stripping. Very good indeed. Spend that for a hit crit. Needs at least 2 evades. He's decided to throw all his dice away. Only joke. 3 dice go up in the air. That is 1 very, very dead green. Now, he will get to return fire, but sadly for England, that is a dead spacer. So 28 points to 0. One more shot to go. Goes into red at the top of the screen. Loves that eyeball. Does not like that. Will he spend it? Will he spend this? I would probably keep that as it is. And that is exactly what he does, showing some good thought process there on the revenge shots. So let's see where we go first. Normally, he would go back to front, but because green is dead, he's going to try and take as much in there as he can. So 3 into 2. It will be an auto blaster shot, but the crits can be evaded. Oof. Wow. Wow. Spends that focus, takes a shield on red. Good start for Tom. Will probably maintain focus fire onto the red one. So they've probably agreed that that is the one that this is going into. We'll spend focus for 2 hits. This time, because was not strained, gets 3, so that is evaded. The strain has gone. Another 3 range shot. Auto blasters, 1 and 1 evade. So red consistently pulling things out. Now, these top 2 both are modded with a focus. So let's see where we go into. It'll probably go into the strained orange. Doesn't, goes into blue. Spends the focus for 2 hits, 4 dice because range 3. 3 natural evades. And this time into the strain, this will be 3 and 2. 2 hits for Tom. And a shield off orange, but loses the strain. So let us see where that has put us. Orange down at the bottom. Don't forget, there is another shot. Keep that. Reroll the blank. It is hit crit. 4 dice in return. That is only 1. So blue gets to lose a shield. Well, I always say choose violence, because violence is kind of a good thing to do, in my opinion. First round of shooting, Ireland lead 28-0. And 28 is a cartel spacer. So 14 and 18. It is 13 and 25 for the FOs. Torkil Mux is 29 and 58. He costs even more because of the Moldy Crow and Zam Vessel crew. We all know how ridiculously undercosted yet utterly brilliant Zam is. And Malarus is 25.50. So nice and easy to remember. Let's jump in there, see what you guys just think. He didn't trigger Malarus on that last shot, did he not? So, and we, because of XTC rules, we are slightly delayed. So he might not have. No, he might not have. And this is where Conor goes, we're not going down on this side of the map for a while. I will quite happily put my dials on the board, which is kind of good, because then I get to see when all the dials are done, which is kind of nice. So let us see who is going to take the initial lead, because one of these countries is going to go 2-1. And let us see. So welcome everyone in the chat. Good to have you here. There's a little bit of board tidy up. Excellent. I like to see that. Keep your table nice and clean. It's very easy to do on tabletop. It's actually quite easy to do in real life, but that's utterly besides the point. So what is the better swarm? Is it going to be the Auto Blaster Cartels, who did lose one of their guys for a grand total of 2 shields? And the Cartel, you know, are 4 hull as well as the FOs. So Conor with an additional 4 hull start. until you look at Malarus, and Malarus has got slightly more hull than the Mouldy Crew. But they're beautifully painted, the English ships. I say that every stream I've ever been on, whether it is on this channel or I've been lucky enough to be on another one. Fabulously painted ships, all done by the absolute maestro, who is part of Team England, which is Kester Smith. So congratulations with them. And Conor decides banking is definitely the order of the day. Can he take off this problematic Torkil Mox? Because that making something I0 is not good. The only problem with this is that if they have done a massive speed maneuver, which they may or may not have done, and I know that sounds that they might have not, threes and twos. So 2 has made it. The 3 has been bumped, but will now get a range 1 auto blaster into yellow. Yellow has made it. Red Spacer has been bumped as well, so no tokens. Same with orange. So fantastic blocks there for and another, the 3 bank there, which would have fit in just perfectly, has been bumped as well. Now it's not so bad for Tom, as he already has 2 focus tokens, so that's not a major issue, to be fair. So looking at either going to take a focus or possibly going to take something else. So there you can see top of the screen and that beautiful Mouldy Crew painted ship. Jams off the focus from yellow to stop any mod going into him. And the ship that will fire last is Malarus. So Torkil gets a range 1 shot into orange. Will spend that. That could be an absolute kill on the orange unless lots of evades are taken. Or roll ice. And that's equally as good. And orange has taken its first hull point. So half points and points for England. 13 by doing that. Now the Malarus Swarm will attack. Is that an arc? It isn't. So teal and red do not get any shots. This is a range 1 attack into the spacer. 3 on 3. Gets to re-roll with 1. So that is 2 hits. No mods for teal. Doesn't need mods when you roll natties. That's just how that is. So let us see where we are at first. So checking from the back. Range 2 for Torkil. Range 1 on the other spacers. And he has decided to go for orange. 2 hits off the bat. 2 evades off the bat. That's pretty good going. Good rolls from both players. Will he go into orange again? Obviously, Conor went for the orange one because he's worried about the bullseye 3-die auto blaster. And good to see that Conor is taking his time, thinking about priority, because the spacer right in front of him is at range 1, and that's a 4-die attack. Now, he can't really do that much, so he's going for a 2-die. Gets, it's going to be hitting the blank. There we go. So that's 1 off Torkil. That's a start. Second one here. There's a crit, an eye, and a hit. So the hit crit goes in, and that is another shield. So 1 away from half on Torkil, which would be 29 points. That's a big shot. That's a big, big shot. And orange will evaporate to that shot. That is huge. That shot. 25 points total, and that's exactly what you want if you're supporting Team England. Not so much if you're supporting Team Ireland. But here's another 4-die range 1 auto blaster, and crits cannot be cancelled by evade dice. So 1 is going through. He has 3 dice here to bring back. That's fine. So that's too many dice. I was about to say that is too many dice. The evade and 1 shield on to Malarus. So we're trading the big ships here. So from the 7 now down to 5 hull and 1. Into the strained. 1. It's only 1. So hit crit on their wounded pilot onto yellow. So into hull. And a wounded pilot. Yet again, a very good choice of stuff. The crit will go through. If this is into Malarus, the evade does that. There's no shields left on Malarus, which is not what Conor wanted to see. Here's another shot, just the 1, and that is easily evaded there. And then Malarus will get to shoot. Can he take damage into reds? And he can. So red loses its shield. What a game already. What a game already. Points. Tom Reed has destroyed 38. Conor has still destroyed the 28 that he has had for killing the Spacer. So, second thing of engagement, looking all good for England. But as we all know, in this wonderful game, anything can happen. Anything can happen at all. Let's jump into the chat while they are doing their dials and maneuvers. Why is Conor's list not painted? Because we don't want to be idiot looking. We don't want to be idiots, to be fair. So much as I adore doing ships, oh, it's panicked pilot. I've put the wrong thing on. Apologies. Let's get rid of that and put in the right one. So that's at 2 stress, and then that disappears off. But we will keep it up while the stress is on, just to let you know what it is, because that should actually be turned over. Because the 2 stress tokens are on yellow. So that's a half is essentially why Tom and England are leading by the slight scoreline that they are. This turn will be hugely critical. But these guys, as I said at the start of the show, they really know their stuff. So they know exactly where they want to be. They know where the other ships are going to be. I fear for both Torkil and Malarus this round. Bumps to get the range 1 auto blasters, all good. Not sure if Torkil has got any focuses left. I don't believe that he does. But his mobile arc that fires 2 instead of the 3 out the front that Moldy Crow also offers. It's an additional attack die out the front. That is actually facing towards teal, red, and yellow FOs. The TIE fighters would get shots in there. So will we start seeing any real changes in this at all? So let us have a look at the dial of the Epsilon. So they have a 2 sloop each and a 4K, which is pretty decent. So could get out of range of most there and probably stay away from the mobile arc. The Spacers, however, well, they've got a 3 and a 5K, so they could jump right behind Malarus, but Malarus will move last. So interesting choices lie ahead. And here we go. The first one is the 2 sloop. There's a 2 forward bump, hopefully trying to get a decent shot in there. Absolutely no fear from Teal. Two sloop to the left that I thought would happen. Yellow has to bump, and just to remove one of the stress, which now allows the cartel spacers to do their stuff. Two forward from orange. Takes a focus. One bank trying to stop Malarus's swing. That's a very good move. The 5k, and that's off the board. Is that off the board? Well, goodness gracious me, Tom. That's incredible. I've never seen Tom Reed make a mistake like that in real life ever. That has absolutely shocked me sideways. A fully health ship just has disappeared, has vamoosed because of that 5k, knowing that the 3k would not have fitted because of the medium base on Malarus. Oh, dear me. Oh, that's super unfortunate. Well, that has changed a lot. That has certainly changed things, and it's 56-38 just because of that one maneuver. Malarus will get to fire last as Torkil gets his shenanigans on the go, and Torkil will then shoot first as he is an I2. Oh, that's close. Is that range 1 or 2? If it stays 3, it is a range 2. It is a range 2 into Malarus. Gets 2 hits, and that's the first damage onto Malarus into the hull. So just the 4 left. Now let us see where we are at. So I'll start this again. An obstructed range 3 shot to die into Torkil. Because of the sloop, it makes absolutely no difference. Zamcart comes up. It's the one that will give him a target lock. That's a good roll. He gets to re-roll the die because of Malarus, and that is hit, crit. And that's a fuel leak. He's 1 away from death. Fuel leak, not really that much of a thing, to be fair, because one more thing kills him. Can Conor take him off the board? No focus, no reroll because of no blank. The evade, Torkil will probably survive, as I'm not sure Malarus has got him in arc. But more points for Ireland. I am actually in shock about the yellow spacer. I am genuinely in shock that has happened. Now, the problem is, for England, Torkil has only 1 hull left and will need to try and take 2 shots. One with Zam's ability and one from Torkil. So he may just do a 1 forward and hope. Tail is in a perfect position to take him completely out next turn. Red is in quite a poor position for Tom. Will need to kind of bounce around to try and get something. There are still focus tokens everywhere on Tom's ships. Please ignore them. They are no longer part of the game. They were not seen or lifted by either player just yet. So orange and red's focuses are, for all intents and purposes, actually not there. So the blue spacer is in a cracking position to hit Malarus up the backside, but there's a lot of good things here that Conor can do. The red will probably he may even move yellow first to try and get some sort of a distance away. Remember, he is a panicked pilot, And we'll probably want to do some sort of blue maneuver to relieve the stress. There it goes down to Panic Pilot. So as we look at the score with about 43 minutes left, England has destroyed 38 points. Ireland has destroyed 85, so lead by 47. And let us see where these ships end up. So a 2-bank from pink is a bump. The 2-sloop from green gives a stress, but a perfect shot. There is the 2-bank from yellow to maybe get something, maybe take an evade. Doesn't, which is absolutely fine. There's him, the red, who has lost a shield, trying to get the bump in. Doesn't kind of get it. Tail obviously round the back. No bullseye shot there at the minute for blue. Red's going to try and do... so it bumps. Trying to get his stuff. So they're debating whether that was the move. Obviously, with him coming back there, there's a fantastic maneuver from still bumps. That's fine. Now the 3K from so clock has stopped. Let's stop our clock. We have a look. 41:52. So we will go like this, and now we're back on track. Okay. So lots of sloopy sloop McSloops all over the place. That is a blank. So a stress on to Torkil from that move. And Malarus will be firing last. If Malarus even makes anything here. No shots at all for Malarus anyway. So maybe makes red the one to shoot last. That could be possible. I think they're just thinking about what they want to do here. Let's quickly jump into chat while they're doing that. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Cam, it may have, but I would never in a million years write off Tom Reid. Not ever. It's a conspiracy against Canada. Not one iota. My partner is Canadian. Conor, who is playing for Ireland, has married a Canadian. So pretty good. And England do care a great deal. And yes, it is much more fun to talk about it than anything else. So let us see what is now happening in the game. So there is that a coordinated evade? It certainly is. So that's what Malarus has done, which to coordinate, he needs to do something. And it looks like, obviously, nothing at all in the fire arc of Malarus. So he doesn't really care about where it is. And here we go first. This is a Torkil shot, range 1, out the side turret. That's pretty good. The head crit bounced by 2 natural evades, and now it is all the FO. So yellow does not have a shot, but pink does. Downtown, 2 die shot. Nothing because of the bump onto red. This will be obstructed. Malarus reroll needs... So I was about to say a hit would be fantastic. What happens here? He has evaded it again. Tom Reid showing that greens sometimes just do not let you down at all. Fantastic evading from Torkil. He's going to take a revenge shot here, and I thoroughly applaud this. Has to be into the attacker, so 1 hit. And that's been evaded. So, too many dice. I assume it's going to be in the same target. 2 natural evades. The extra die because of the token. And another evade. That is fabulous. This has got to be range 1 into blue. Has to be. Spend that focus. And that is a dead blue. Blue is now dead. The crit is immaterial. It is a direct hit, which gets another one out. But blue is now dead. Things going quite well indeed for Ireland at the minute. But the remaining spacers have not yet shot. So here is a range 2 shot into pink. And pink does not have him in arc. It is only the 1 hit. Unmodded back to evades from Ireland. Here is orange. Orange will definitely take the range 1 auto blaster into the back of Malarus. No mods to do anything, and absolutely blanks, as the focus does nothing. Still 1 more shot left to go, surely. But that is one that doesn't have a fire arc. What a round of pew-pews that was. Tom has got a fully healthed orange spacer. The red has lost its shield, but Torkil is down to 1 hull and could quite easily... I mean, I'm amazed that he's still actually up and on the board. Nothing taken at all, points-wise, by England this turn. So, the scores. With about 36.5 minutes to go, Tom Reid of England has destroyed 38 points. Unfortunately for him, Conor Holmes from Ireland has destroyed 113 and now leads by 75. So Malarus has to die. That will then give a lead of just 50. And then the remaining ships need to start taking epsilons out. But we're only roughly halfway through this Group C game. Game 3 between Ireland and England. Whoever wins this takes the lead in the set 2-1. So let us see if anyone is interested in what is going on. I still am in utter shock that a player of Tom's fantastic ability misjudged that K turn. I've never seen him do that. Though I think at that point Ireland rejoiced. But we're not saying anything else apart from that. So welcome to the Tauntauns. We're going to bring you at... Well, let's see. In an hour and 15 minutes, we're bringing the world champion of X-Wing. That's right. Ollie Pocknell is on the Tauntaun stream. And he's flying a rather interesting list up against Chris Baird from Ireland. He's also flying a very interesting list. But in the meantime, that's in the future. This is right now. So let us see where everybody has ended up. Lots of bumps. I will assume lots of bumps. There is a 1 hard away. Will he barrel roll to kind of block Malarus? That may be a thing. Decides, nope, I'm all right like this. And I've got to say, Torkil will be dead this round. Sorry, Tom, but I can't see anything else that can happen. He's already stressed. Now, if he's already stressed, how does he get a focus token? So they're just discussing what's going on. Obviously, there's been a lot of sleeping and maneuvering and all that sort of stuff. But he will be taking at least 3 shots here from red, pink, and teal. Yeah, they are just discussing what's happening. I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so that's relatively fine for Malarus. That will only be 1 shot. Oh, the stress is from the rotate. Okay, perfect. And Teal gets to shoot last. So, shot first. Tom rolls. Can't spend that focus. Needs it desperately in return. So, now, this I'm not a big fan of. I ain't got a shot with pink first. Needs 1 damage, and that is not enough. That is. Pink keeping his evade. Torkil now dead, and it's an uphill struggle from here on in. 142 to 38 in favour of Team All Ireland. Cam says, I can confirm dice are not our friends. Marcel and Sano, dice are rigged versus Canada. Well, they're not playing, but they are playing against the Philippines. And good luck to both countries in this. A crit there, and that is evaded, so not so bad. And then the final shot is no shot at all. Let's see what's happening here. Tom saying, watch. And what? No way. I am super confused. Has Tom conceded? Like, I genuinely do know that MOB makes very little sense, but that you see on the screen is a GG, which normally stands for good game. And I think maybe losing Torkil may have... it is. The game is over. The game, I believe, is over. And these guys are talking. So if that's official, then it seems like Conor Holmes has won. And Ireland are now 2-1 up in the set. So from being 1-0 down, it became 1 each. It is now 2-1 Ireland. However, there are still 2 more games happening in this group this evening. One is about to start in 10 minutes. And the other will start in an hour and 10 minutes. And if you want to watch Ollie Pocknell, who's kind of good at this game, it appears that is it. So good grief. Yes, England are already through. Their first win meant that Ireland nor Canada can get their wins. Ireland and Canada were both at the start of Game 7, both have 25 game wins each. England were on 32, so that's the thing for that. Marcel, it is always a pleasure to bring any game or commentate on any other streamer's thing. And speaking of streamers, if you're watching on Twitch, anybody on Twitch, please hit the follow button. It helps out people on Twitch. If you're watching anybody on YouTube, just hit the subscribe thing. It also helps the YouTube streamers. It has been a pleasure. And yep, are you ready, Dodo? You thought Ireland were winning 3-2. It was only 1-0. But it is now Ireland 2, England 0. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Go and make yourselves a nice cup of tea or a coffee or a wine or a Pimm's or a G&T, or even if you're Irish, a celebratory pint of Guinness. Come back here in an hour and 10 minutes for the next game between Ireland and England. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy.